Hello, it's Uncle Hugh coming to you again with more finding or discovering and appropriating the promises of God in the Bible so that we actually experience them in our lives. We talked about how everybody is different and the promises are different for every person and operate in different ways in every life, but it can be useful to hear testimonies from others that maybe we have had a similar experience or will have a similar experience, or just to see different ways that God works. Not so much to compare ourselves and judge, but just to learn about God and His ways with the promises. Well, God can lead us into promises, or we can go searching for them in the Word. I want to talk two ways today that God led me. One time, way back in the 70s, I was assigned to be a participant in a statewide conference. And in this conference, there was a preacher talking about some social issue, and I disagreed with every point. Every point this person made, I had a reason, a scripture, why she was wrong. And I was sitting there judging and judging and judging, and the Spirit spoke to me and said, stop listening with your brain and listen in the Spirit. I'd never heard of anything like that, but I did it. And it's amazing because I saw Jesus. I saw her love for Jesus. I saw that this person was only saying these things after long and serious prayer and really getting this from Jesus. So I got angry with the Lord. Then I said, how is it that you can tell her one thing and tell me something entirely different? I thought that that would be impossible. But He showed me. I could see a foot. I knew that I was a left foot looking at the right foot of the same body. That's all I could see is the foot. But I knew. And that foot was never doing the same thing as I was. Always going the opposite direction. And then He showed me a hand. And that hand was doing crazy things. Something a foot would never do. And then He showed me another hand, far away. And that hand was going very, very strange things for a foot. And then it was like I was watching in a theater or a movie, and it zoomed out and I could see the whole stage. And I was the foot of one ballet dancer looking at the hand of another. And that same voice said to me, only the choreographer knows. Wow. So I learned one of the principles of promises of God. Don't expect to be like other people, and don't get upset when other people aren't like you, because maybe they're just led in a different way than you are. But as children of God, we are all led in those paths of righteousness. Then later, I discovered a scripture that said, people who believe in Jesus will lay their hands on the sick, and the sick will be healed. Wow. I had never noticed that before. This written word jumped out of the page and jumped into my heart and was planted there and became a living thing. For 4 years, I went around laying hands on people for them to be well, and nobody ever got well. Until the 5th year, on the playground, a young girl sprained her ankle, and as I touched it, she was healed. Since then, I have laid hands, and the blind have seen, the deaf have heard. The lame, even paralyzed, have got up and walked. Cancer tumors have disappeared under my hand. All kinds of illnesses have disappeared as I laid hands and prayed for people. So today it is a common part of my life. I first had never noticed it, but became aware of it. Decided that I was a believer. I met the requirement, and I appropriated it by practicing until it actually began to happen in my life. Well, those are two stories about how I discovered and appropriated some of the gifts. But you must hear from God for yourself. Maybe you will hear His voice through these messages or something someone else tells you. But hear Him. Seek His promises. Until next time, when we look at other ways to find God's promises. This is Uncle Hugh saying, God bless you all.